everybody to the 6th annual Can-Am Slalom Championships. This is a slalom skateboard race. This is part of the Antrim Home and Harvest Festival here in Antrim, New Hampshire. 6th year in a row. This is one of the biggest races of its kind in North America. Slalom skateboard racing is a bit of a retro sport, but it's also got some pretty modern, high-tech grooves going for it right now. You'll see young and old racers. You'll see the fast guys next to the slow guys. We have world champions here today. Yesterday we set a world record for a tight slalom here. Joe McLaren, new world record for tight slalom. So pretty big race for what it is. Okay, the D group. The D group is going to go first today, and the reason we're going to do that is we like to try to race the fastest racers where we have the best crowd, so we can show off and stuff like that. The D group is Dan Parrish, some guy named Dave Kirkpatrick, Ron Barbagallo, known as Skateboard, Josh Howard, Terry Whalen, Dave Graves Withrow, do you prefer David? Lindsay Warren. So we're in the D group. We're going to go first. We're going to Josh Howard isn't there.
He's on there.
I missed him. He's skinny. He must have been standing in front of him. Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the D group. So I'm going to let Dave hop up here and get his pads on, because he's going to be going pretty shortly. I need on the ramp, I need Josh Howard and Terry Whalen. Josh, you'll be starting us out in the white lane, Terry in the red.
Oh, who am I against?
Where's Josh?
Are we against each other?
I don't know. Anybody seen Josh?
Wait, let me,
Josh Howard, we need you right here, right now. Need you on the ramp.
So they got me up there, got me ready, got me nervous. Yeah, I wondered how that worked out, how I was, the guy doing the work here, and I'm going to be the first guy on the ramp. It would have been a lucky slot. Or it could have been dreadful. Who knows? My first run is going to be what I like to call my practice run, because I haven't really hit the hill yet. What could possibly go wrong?
Except for Josh not showing.
Except for Josh not showing up. Josh Howard. We need him on the hill.
Took him down already.
Dan thinks he won. So I was showing you some of the goodies that I have, some of the stuff I wear. We got the helmets, we believe in the helmets. We also build gloves, some of us do, sliding gloves. What these are is basically your hardware store gloves with industrial Velcro and some cutting board attached to them. What do you got? You stick your hand in here. Dan has a real one. Dan has one that was manufactured by somebody.
Wrist guards.
Oh, wrist guards.
Wrist guards,
yeah.
that's the other option.
Wrist guards is the other option for that type of thing. That's going to protect you if you fall. If you fall and go down with your weight, and people tend to do that. If you roll, you're probably better off.
Navicular
But
fracture.
if you don't do that and go straight down, you're putting all your weight on your wrist, people break their wrists doing that. His are going to protect his wrist from that sort of impact. Mine are going to allow me to slide. So when I put my hand down, it's going to slide along the pavement. And it slides quite well. It's just plain old cutting board.
Okay, Josh, you have 10 seconds to show your face at the top of the hill, and we're sending Terry. Terry will be able to take this round if Josh doesn't get on the ramp, and Josh will have a 1.5 second penalty added to his time if he gets here for his next run. I'm saying go ahead and send him, Meg.
One more practice. Josh was down. Yeah, one more practice. Good. I need. Wait for the beep. We get a random beep. Stop for a random beep.
Is this is time?
So the timer starts on the random beep. If you leave early, any time that you leave before that last beep will be added double to your time. So if you jump early, it can be a big penalty added to your time depending on how much you jump by. Terry is looking pretty good here. A nice run from the top here. I didn't see any cones struck, so that will really make it tough for Josh if he shows back up here to overcome that. I need on the ramp Dave Kilpatrick and Lindsay Warren. Dave will be on the white, Lindsay on the orange course.
Are we going now?
On the ramp.
Wait, we're racing each other?
We're racing each other.
No, you're gonna.
Next up, we'll need Fat Boy and DGW. So, everybody ready? Everybody ready to go?
I'm white.
Dave is on the white, Lindsay is on the orange.
If it starts before it sounds, you get double the time.
Really want to just, I can't say thanks enough to Megan and his crew for coming out here, getting out here early yesterday, being out here all day yesterday, really working at the timing table. It is a lot of work getting this wire down, getting these racers sorted. They work a long, hard day, and Meg's one of our top racers. So thanks to Fullback and especially to Megan and his crew for getting this timing for us.
I saw clean. Yeah.
Terry Whalen, he put down a 24.315 time, and it was a clean run. Nice job, Terry. Okay, Lindsay here will be starting off the ramp. Dr. Dan will push the timer when she gets started. Some of our racers are more experienced than others. Lindsay has been doing this for maybe 2 years, 3 years, she said. 2.5 years. And she's kind of a nearby local here. Comes up and skates on the weekend. She's living down near Boston now, but grew up in this area.
All right, Dave. All right, Lindsay. Racers ready? Keep it clean above the belt. Ready, Dave? 4 feet right now.
Here. Oh yeah, thanks. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Lindsay.
And they're off. I can remember one of our first years up here, Dave Kilpatrick did a lot of time working on the course and helping out and talking to the racers, and he says, I think I can do this, and I think he skated in the beginner race at the end of the day, and he just kind of seemed to fall in love with it, and has been doing it ever since, steadily improving, and just really helping the slalom community out and get this race going. Dave Kilpatrick ran a 24.553, Lindsay Warren a 28.013. On the ramp, I need Fat Boy and DGW. Fat Boy on the white lane, DGW in the red lane. Please, up on the ramps.
Yeah, once I start spraying. All right, I gotta go run.
Have a good run.
I just want to have a run.
Lindsay had hit 11 cones. We had set a cone limit for a DQ at 10, so if you hit 10 cones, you're okay. 11 cones, you get a DQ. So you get letters instead of numbers. So she'll have another chance to clean it up. But on the ramp, we have Fat Boy on the white course and DGW on the red.
He's representing.
Go, guys.
So as our timer was giving some instructions to our racers, we go have a 4-beep start system. The 3 beeps are evenly placed. The fourth beep is a random one. It can be anywhere from about 1 to 5 seconds. The racers need to pull right at that fourth beep to get the optimum time on the course. Looks like both of our racers made it through without DQ on the course. So let's see if they have a good amount of cones to keep them from DQing. I see a few red cones up here, so he could be in a little trouble. So we have one on the white, 7 on the red. Both those racers have good runs, so we'll see how it places them in the end. On the ramp now, I need...
Yeah, around it, all the connectors. Who do I need now? Josh and Terry? Yeah.
I need Josh and Terry back on the ramp. Josh, Howard, please, on the ramp.
What's the count? Oh, look at the dingle balls on this guy's skateboard. This is funny.
Yeah, Josh did a little customization on his board over since last season. Josh Howard lives about,
Josh.
I think his bedroom is probably about 25 feet from this hill, so he's got a little local knowledge here.
He's been getting better and better. He's one of the guys who started this about the time I did, and you know, we're still usually duking it out in the D bracket, but you know, we're coming along. He's got a good run right now. Check out a cone down at the bottom. Gets really tight. Gets fast. Nice run. Nice run. This is not an easy course to just run in and jump in on.
I'm gonna steal the microphone right back from Dave because we need him on the ramp.
Off I go.
Dave is on the red course this time, and Lindsay will be on the white course.
Riders ready?
Oh, hello. Anybody see my board?
Some of our competitors come from the snowboarding background. Lindsay listed as one of her interests snowboarding. So if you're a snowboarder out there, this is a great summertime crossover sport for you.
These are old school. These are really old.
Two nice runs.
I keep it nice, yeah.
On the red course, getting ready to go here, we have Fat Boy. On the white course, we have DGW.
I like this. I like this and I like this.
Raw times were 28.855 for Lindsay, 24.056 for Dave Kirkpatrick.
Riders ready?
Yeah, he needs like a 2-3X.
I'd rather be
We have Fat Boy starting off the ramp and DGW starting from the side. Dave's only been at this for maybe a season and a half. Used to skate back when he was a kid, kind of got out of it for a while, and just trying to get back into it now, having a lot of fun at it. Just running into a little bit of cone problem on the white side, but looks like Fat Boy ran pretty well. Raw times 27.89 for David, and for Fat Boy 25.927. So I'm going to need on the ramp, we're down to the round of 4 for this group. We're going to need Dan Parrish on the white ramp, Terry Whalen on the orange side. So Dr. Dan is on the white. He's our official doctor of the New England series. He helps us out, always brings his first aid kit. Sometimes we get scratched and he helps us patch ourselves up. But he's from Western Mass, and Terry's from the opposite side of Mass. He's out on the Cape, so this is a East-West Mass showdown.
You hear about that all the time, the East Coast, West Coast thing. We got it right here today.
So we just had Dan Parrish run a 22.557. Terry Whalen ran a 22.099. So Terry is a little under half a second ahead without cones. So Dan's going to have a little bit to make up. Terry is with cones. He's 0.158 seconds ahead. Pretty close race, and Dave Kirkpatrick and Fat Boy should be on the ramp.
Maybe let folks know that
Dave will be on the white. Ron will be on the red. I was kidding around last year with some of the guys here, and I'm saying, boy, it's really nice of Antrim to throw this festival and race for me for my birthday, but I think I might have been misled. It wasn't all about me. That's what they were telling me.
I think you guys are out, right? Yeah. Single elimination. So, and then when you go to the round of 4, it's double.
What's double?
Round of 4 is double elimination.
Oh, so we don't get to go again?
Right.
Yeah, no, you're faster than me.
So Dave Kirkpatrick and Fat Boy,
I went fast.
22.532 for Dave.
I was faster than you.
For Fat Boy, 23.488. So we'll see what the cones do to him.
That one. I gotta bring it up.
It's going to make it a little close. Fat Boy was a little cleaner. But Dave does advance, so Dave will be advancing to the round of 1-2, and as well as Terry. And Fat Boy and Dr. Dan will be battling out for 3-4 in this group. So I need all those riders back on top of the hill here, ready to go.
No, you're going to go again. 2 more runs.
Don't knock me out yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, we're not, I jumped the gun here. I have to apologize to Dan. We still have to flip sides and run one more time. So this is pretty close. Dr. Dan needs to make up 1.58 seconds, which is very doable on this course. He needs to hit either 2 less cones or just go a little bit faster. Come on, Terry. East Coast Mass, West Coast Mass. This is East is least, West is best. I don't know. Dr. Dan pops 2 cones, 3 cones at the top, so he needs to put the pedal to the metal if he wants to pick off Terry here and move on. Terry clipped a couple at the bottom, so this is just going to come down to some cone counts here. The raw times were very close, 21.653 for Terry, 21.926 for Dr. Dan. On the ramp, I need Dave K and Fat Boy. Dave Kirkpatrick is 0.556 advantage here. At 5 on the white course, 6 on the red, it looks like Terry will pull that one off and move on to the round of 1-2. These guys are pretty close time-wise. We're talking 20 feet here or a couple of cones, so it could go either way. Count the cones as they go down. That might make the difference on who moves to the 1-2 round.
Racers ready?
ramp.
Every year we've done it, there's been A, B, and C, and I was in C.
So
And then-
far, no
and then
cones
D
on either
was, like,
side.
starting at the halfway point. So when they said they're doing qualifying,
Looks
then
like neck and neck coming into the flat area at the bottom.
racing after the parade.
Dave
So
might be slight
I looked on my
ahead,
board,
couple
and I
cones
went
on each.
down-
Boy, that's a close race. Good work, guys.
down there, and then I was like, you bet you
So it looks like Dave Kirkpatrick is going to be racing for that 1-2 spot against Terry Whalen. On the ramp now, we're going to need Dr. Dan on the white course and Fat Boy on the red.
Racers ready?
Okay, these guys will be racing 2 more runs here, and this will be deciding for 3rd and 4th place for the D group. Dr. Dan plucked 1 cone at the top. Okay, Terry White, Dave Red. Nice run, guys. That boy is up by .094. So we're talking 1 cone, or you know, it's going to be a really close final for you guys.
Racers ready?
Yeah, I did it worse in both worlds. I started hitting cones at the top, and then at the bottom, I was like, no, I don't want to hit that one. And I scrubbed off speed, and that's when you caught up to
So
me.
for fans and racers, I just want to let everybody know there is public restroom facilities behind Town Hall at is it Rich and Diane's or Rick and Diane's? Rick and Diane's, and up at the school here at the top of the hill. So that's a very close race between Terry and Dave. It looked like raw times 23.052 for Terry, 23.774 for Dave. So like 0.7 seconds there. We'll have to see what the cones do to him.
One more, right? Yeah.
Looked like Terry ran clean, Dave ran with 1. So Terry will be up by 0.822. So on the ramp, Dr. Dan and Fat Boy right now. Let's go, guys. This is for place 3-4. Need you guys on the ramp. Dan red, Fatty on white. So Dave, how was that ride up the hill? That looked pretty fast.
It was faster than I go down the hill, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, that was an interesting trip. Got to go a little slower than that. You might even say nice and slow, especially for the D bracket, who are not used to the motorcycle escort.
So this is 3rd and 4th place. They are very close running into their last and final run here. 0.1 second about separation. So that's 1 cone strike. So we'll see how this pans out here. And they actually ran raw times, were very close again. Fat Boy was maybe a little under 0.2 seconds slower, but I think it's going to come down to cones. I can't figure it out here without the help of the computer. Two white, 1 red. I think it's going to be cones that make the difference here. Yes, Dr. Dan makes up a little bit of a disadvantage from his first round and makes a solid 3rd place finish in that D group. Good work, Dr. Dan. Nice work, Fatty. 0.157 seconds was the difference in that round. On the ramp for the 1-2 final run, we need Terry Whalen and Dave Kirkpatrick.
Then everybody goes to the parade.
I think we have Terry in red, Dave in white.
Go guys! Okay!
Terry Whalen, Dave Kirkpatrick on course. This is for 1 and 2 of the D group. Terry Terry's from Cape Cod, but he usually comes up once or twice and practices with the Antrim crew. So he's a semi-local up here. Nice run, guys. Looks like Terry might have taken that if he stayed in the course.
I'd like that buyback.
Hey, Chris.
So guys, we're gonna head down to the parade right now. All racers should be down to the start of the parade. So we'll be shutting this down for a few minutes to participate in the parade. Looks like they traded cones that time, Terry and Dave Kirkpatrick, 4 and 4, and Terry wins. So in the T group, we'll have top 4 will be Terry Whalen, first place, Dave Kirkpatrick, second place, Dr. Dan Parrish, third place, Ron Fatty, in fourth place.
So we are going to start A and B, and we're going to finish them up together down the road. The C group will go after that.
Okay, Harry, can you get the riders ready? Okay, riders are ready, Meg. You can.
Josh in the white,
ready,
John in the red.
You guys.
Racers will go on the 4th beep. This is a little different format. We're starting the tape strips at the top for them rather than them running over the tape strips. Josh is running right through it. John has blown out of the course.
Yeah, John came out the bottom. John's one of our newer guys. He's just kind of seeing if he's liking this sport, and I have a feeling we'll see him back next year, and he'll be much improved.
Yeah, John's a longboarder, and he's just not a slalom racer per se. So he's does a lot of cruising and carving, I would imagine. There's a lot of things you can do with a longboard besides race the style.
So next
racing.
up, I need Delaney and then Bailey. Delaney should be on the white and Bailey on the red. These are our 2 local natives here.
Josh Howard, 17.712. DQ for John.
So Dave, I think you might know this racer in the red lane here.
She
the
looks
last
kind of
name
familiar.
seems familiar.
Yeah, that's my daughter, Bailey Kirkpatrick, facing off Delaney, if I can see in this monitor. And
Both Delaney and Barrett are regulars on our Sunday skates. Dave Kirkpatrick organizes a Sunday skate up here, sets cones almost every Sunday or every other Sunday anyhow. Any locals interested, search them out. And they're off.
Looking close race. Both racers keeping it good. Oh, Bailey takes it, gives up 1 cone. Oh, there's a 2. Both good runs, though. Looking good.
Looked like for raw times, Delaney was 19.811. Bailey was a 20.397.
Great runs. It's really nice to see the kids getting involved in this. You know, like I said, this is a vintage sort of event. A lot of the guys who race this, I mean, they are the guys who invented skateboarding. It's the old Dogtown crew. It's like the movie you saw. They used to do these events where you do your tricks and you do your slalom and you do your, you know, various races. Everybody used to sort of do everything. So a lot of these guys are like vintage skaters from the day. We are really trying to keep the sport going and growing, so we're trying to get the kids involved wherever we can. And typically, you know, we get to a point where the kids are just beating us now. You'll see some of these fast guys going down the hill. It's going to be a great race today.
And now we have Heather on the white and Emil on the red. For the people that have just joined us spectator-wise, you'll see people picking up cones if they've been knocked over. We count each cone that's been struck. Each cone adds 0.1 seconds to the racer's time. So it's not only from tape strip to tape strip, it's the amount of cones you hit as well.
Go, Heather!
Heather and Emil, they're both the Sunday skaters as well. Both been working hard this year. It takes a bit to get to a point where you can do these courses.
Emil did a nice job riding through the spray. Sometimes it can be a little distracting when the cones shoot through your course. Now, if a cone from the other course comes over and strikes one of your cones, that cone does not count against you. Only cones that you strike count against you. But it's still, the distraction factor is high.
And that's what makes a good cone head. The good cone head will notice that, or they'll notice if somebody touched a cone and moved it but didn't knock it over. You know, you got to be kind of watching the race as it goes down. Fun cone safety fact, if there's such a thing as a fun cone safety fact. These are special cones. They're designed to be plinked out of the way by the board rather than perhaps get wedged under it or, you know, break and be sharp or whatever. You know, these are special cones for slalom. People improvise with various things, and it's really not a great idea to fiddle around with something that you don't know is going to work for this. So your soda bottles or your highway safety cones, you don't want to be playing with that stuff. There's a fabulous picture of a really good skater flying through the air because somebody put down a sneaker for the last cone, and he's taking a dive.
So right now, keeping this moving along, we need Josh and John. Josh, switch sides. So we're ready to go. Josh should be on red, John on white. John needs to try to see if we can get a good time this time. Josh had a pretty good time. He was 17.712. He's got the fastest time so far of the low start.
Looks like John's out again.
Of this group so far, it looks like Josh is one of the faster ones, and Heather is second. Emil is running third right now. So those are the top three in this group. Josh Howard improves his time a little bit, so he ran a 16.298 without cones. That's a raw time. He hit one red cone, so that would be 16.398 for a final time. Up now, Delaney Barrett and Bailey Kirkpatrick. These two girls ran very close together last time, about 0.4, 0.5 second separation.
You may remember Bailey from the catamaran race last year. She and her friend Riley raced catamaran style. Butt on the board and feet on the other board and arms interlocked. When these guys have a push start like this, the start is very important.
Yeah, let's do.
Nice runs.
Let's do right into A. These guys.
Reminder, the A racing is coming up.
Okay, A racers, we need you to start filtering your way up the hill. I don't have an official list on who is in the A and B group, but we're going to start with A. If you're on the bubble, please come up, and I'm going to be giving the names here in a second.
A reminder, one of our major sponsors is Full Bag Skates. We've got a lot of good sponsors here, and we'll list them as we go, but Full Bag makes a great board. They bring the timing and set it up, and he brings a crew. These guys spend all day working on this event. And they've been bulletproof in the past. They just do a great job. Thank you very much, Mig and your crew.
So this is a race to watch right here. Heather and Emil, they're right now .002 seconds apart, so it could come down to anybody.
And they're off.
0.002 seconds. That's got to be 6, 7 inches at the bottom. It's not very far. Oh, Emil went down.
Emil's down.
He's back
He's
up.
right back up. He's got
Looks
all his
okay.
safety gear on. Hoping he's okay. There's a couple of ways you can wipe
Nice.
out when you're
Nice.
skating. One is you see it coming, and hopefully when you see it coming, you either roll or slide on your knee pads or hands and knee pads, however you do that. You remember the glove I showed you has the hard puck. The other way is when you don't see it coming. And in that case, you're skating along, and the pavement just comes up and pounds you on the side you weren't looking at, and that's the scary hit. I didn't see this one.
Okay, A-class riders, B-class riders, pads on, and let's head up the hill. We're
You
gonna
okay,
get
Emil?
going.
Let's have a thumbs up. You all right, buddy? Hey, Emil, you okay? His mom just gave him a helmet pat. I think that means nothing's broken.
Okay, here's the results for the low start. Josh Howard with a 16.398. Heather Riddell, 18.298. Emil, 18.30. John
Van Hazinga, how's that?
I don't
Van
know.
Hazinga.
I think we got to look at that.
Hazinga.
I think John came out of the course, so I think it would be Delaney in fourth at 19.50 and Bailey at a 20.697.
I believe you're correct. John was DQ.
First up, white lane, Joe McLaren. Red lane, Ferdinand. So that's the first guys we're going to need on the ramp. After that, we have Martin Reeves in rookie. Martin will be white, rookie will be red. Adam Schwipper, white lane. Richie Carrasco, red lane. A little bit of a grudge match there. Both of those are Skate King riders. The underling versus the boss race there, so I don't know, Adam. Then we have George Pappas and Keith Holeen. I'm going to have to say that's the over 40 crowd, kind of over 40 race there. So first up, Joe, you're on the white lane. Ferdinand, red lane. Joe was our #1 qualifier yesterday, so he's going to be hopefully one we see throughout the day. Ferdinand's hoping that he can pick him off here. Ferdinand was looking pretty fast yesterday. I think, he's getting his U.S. legs underneath him. He's fresh over here from Germany. So see if he's acclimated a little better to this side of the ocean, and see if he can pick off Joe McLaren here. So these guys will have 2 runs. Total time here will move on. 0.1 second for each cone that they hit. It is a 4 beeps, random beep.
They're going all the way through, then we're
Are they
going all the way.
going to finish or are they going to do the top 8?
No, top 8.
I think they're going to do the tops of these brackets.
But you're in charge.
8.
We are going to do the tops of these brackets and then finish them up. Because when we get close, they need the motorcycle to pull them up the hill, so we'll do all the stuff that can be spaced out. And then we'll bring them up and do the C's.
So they're going to do both runs, then we're going to do 2 runs.
Wait, are they going to do round of 8 or are they going to go until there's winner?
Round of 8.
So that was Joe McLaren. He ran a 18.697. Ferdinand ran a 19.062.
We can do a round of 4. And that way you're
1 cone for Joe McLaren, 2 cones for Ferdinand. Yeah, racers, can we get you to walk up on the orange snow fence side so you don't get in the line of the cameras? We got the film crew out here, and they're trying to do the best job they can to capture the racer action. Also, try to refrain from leaning over the course and getting in the way. So Martin Reeves on the white course and rookie on the red course. Colorado versus Canada. All B riders should be at the top of the hill. I have MB here at the announcer table. So everything that's said at this table is being recorded for the television. So just happy to have you up here. But just keep it PG, guys.
Okay, I'll leave my swear words at home. I left my swear words at home.
No, you can swear in French. They won't know what it means.
Okay, Martin Reeves looked pretty smoking hot on that. He ran a 18.719. Pascal, rookie, ran a 19.051.
And these guys are really, really good racers. They've been at it for a long time. Martin slightly less than Pascal Jean, the rookie from Montreal.
I don't know about the chubby guy in the red lane. He looks like a rookie to me.
We got Adam Schwippert, white, Richie, brown bomber Carrasco in the red lane.
Both.
Yeah, we're
Both
running a
Skate Kings racers?
4-beep system. The fourth
Thank
is a
you.
random beep.
Both Skate Kings racers, yep. On decks, George Pappas in the white lane and Keith Holine in the red lane.
Yep. There they go.
Trippy's ahead.
Swippy had a nice reaction time.
Adam Schwippert from Vermont, attends the University of Vermont at Burlington. Richie Carrasco from Orange County, California.
Looked like about maybe a couple of feet there at the line. We'll have to see what the timing shows. So we're like 18.747 for Adam Schwippert, 18.836 for Richie Carrasco. About 0.1 seconds there. Looked like about 3 feet. We got George Pappas, Keith Holine. George is from Colorado. Keith Holine from Florida.
George was overall world champ in 2009.
So each cone they hit adds 0.1 to their time. These guys are racing very close together, so sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 cones and it can just switch the positions around. Looks like they might have traded cones. I see a couple on red and maybe 3 on white, but unofficial.
It's important to note, too, that if a cone from one lane hits cones in another lane, that's not a point.
George Pappas' raw time was a 19.007. Keith Holine was a 19.44. Okay, B riders. We need all the B riders up here. We're going to send the next group of B riders. Sorry, we're going to run the second run of the A group first, and then the B riders. But the B riders should be up here, ready, pads on, ready to go. Joe McLaren and Ferdinand. Joe is up by 0.465 seconds. Joe will be in the red lane this time. Each run they switch lanes. So this is Colorado rider here, Joe McLaren versus Ferdinand from Germany. Ferdinand, where in Germany are you from?
He's from Berlin.
Berlin.
This is the start of the second run.
C.
No, it's A.
So in the round of 8, if you get eliminated here, the first rider moves on. The second rider is done for the day. Ferdinand Linder with a better reaction time off the ramp. Got about 0.05 seconds off the ramp, but he had some time to make up.
Joe looked like he slowed down just slightly there a little bit, where the people are kind of in the...
Yeah, I really need the people to stay over. We also have a camera crew shooting from the top of the hill, so if you jump into the course to watch, the camera crew gets to shoot your backside.
Ooh, so unpleasant.
So Ferdinand ran a 19.164, Joe McLaren with a 19.093. Unofficially, it looks like Joe McLaren's going to move on. I need Martin Reeves and Rookie on the ramps right now. Martin is looking for that aero advantage going shirtless. Showing the Colorado style. A lot of those guys ride the big hills with no shirt. I don't know how they do it.
Richie, you got me beat by .011.
Martin Reeves from Colorado in the red lane. Pascal Jean from Montreal in the white lane.
Looks like Martin Reeves takes that one. He was up in the first run. Make sure there's no DQs, and we'll get a cone count. On the ramp, Adam Schwippert, Richie Carrasco. So I can remember a few years ago, Adam was a much younger guy, kind of a teenager. Richie taking him under his wing and teaching him the ropes. Now they're battling it. You ready, Adam?
Oh, Swip almost wiped out.
Yeah, we could hear it from up the top, but 3/4 of the way down, we could hear Adam Schwippert did a really big slide there, but he seemed to hold on.
Oh.
I think this one's going to come down to cones because Richie was up by .011 seconds in the first round. It's going to be very, very close. Raw times 18.906 for Richie, 18.607 for Adam.
Am I in B group or C group?
I don't know, brother. I haven't seen the real list.
Oh, all right. I guess I'm in C because I got pushed out.
So who moved on to that lane? Who moved on? Adam or Richie? So on the ramp now we have George Pappas and Keith Holeen. And Adam Schwippert moves on by a mere .088 seconds.
Wow, that's so tight.
Less than one cone penalty. Pretty close reaction time off the ramp. Close finish there for those two guys. 19.161 for Keith Holeen, 19.118 for George Pappas. George Pappas moves on by .479 seconds. So moving on to the next round, we have Joe McLaren, Martin Reeves, Adam Schwippert, and George Pappas. Those guys will be guaranteed a top 4 spot in the round of 8 in the A group. B racers should be at the top. We're going to pull up that spreadsheet and we're going to get rolling with the B group. The B group's ready up here. We got 1 run practice.
We got a B group breakdown.
So it looks like round of 8 right now. This is Paul Price, Danilo, Steve Penderson, Lou Statman, Seb Leger, Lynn Kramer, Miguel Marco, and Kurt DiBartello. Okay, the course is closed for practice. First up, Paul Price, white lane, Danilo, red lane.
And just to make it clear, all of these racers qualified yesterday on this course. That was the first thing we did when we got here. And today they're racing it. We also had another event yesterday, the tight slalom and the 100-cone World Challenge, which was won by Joe McLaren.
So in the first round here, we have Paul Price. He's carries a UK passport, but he's fresh from California. And then Danilo is one of our Canadian riders. So this is a
it's an international event now.
An international run here.
Danilo's from Quebec City, and he's here with the full bag crew. Yep, there's Paul Price. We're waiting for Danilo. Paul Price, as Glenn mentioned, is from London, but he lives in California right now. And I heard from a good source he'll be heading back to Utah for the wintertime. And he's with Utah Powder Tours there. He's a snowboard coach. Just kind of a fun thing to do when you ride a skateboard in the nice weather. You can ride your snowboard in snow time.
Nice work if you can get it.
He worked hard for that.
I'm sure he did. Okay, Danilo is on the red course, Paul is on the white.
Danilo works in sports too. He's actually a buyer for a rather large sports store in Quebec City, where he lives. His lovely partner who's racing today as well, Julie Boulanger.
Yeah, we are brothers.
So Paul Price and Danilo Persic right now, then Steve Pedersen in the red lane, Lou in the white, Steve in the white, Lou in the red, then Seb and Lynn, and then Miguel and Kurt.
Just a little delay on the start here. Get these guys rolling. Danilo had a little better reaction time off the ramp, maybe about 0.1 second.
Both very experienced racers.
Paul has a great acceleration through this part of the course on the bottom here, though, so.
That was very
Paul
close.
Price, 20.179, Danilo, 20.267, so about 0.1 second separated them. We just need to get a cone count here. On the ramp, Steve, white, Lou, red.
On deck, Seb Leger, Lynn Kramer. Seb in the white, Lynn in the red.
These guys are working hard going down the hill here.
You can hear them gruffing and humping and puffing, and you can hear the wheel slide sometimes too.
Looks like red lane cross first. So we have raw times, Steve Penderson, 19.794, Lou Statman, 19.313. So it looks like Lou takes that first round, and it has an advantage of 0.681 second going into the next round. Up on the deck, we have Seb Leger and Lynn Kramer. Lynn, 9 times world champion in the women's side. Making us guys work hard here. Lynn brings it every race she runs, 100%.
Seb is the two-time Canadian champion, 2009, 2010.
Looks like Seb takes it to the line. We'll have to see how that all works out, but he ran a raw of 19.328. I think so far that's maybe second fastest for this group. Lynn was a 20.115.
You know, they call this the Can-Am Championship because usually in every race there's, you know, a racer from Canada and a racer from the United States.
On the ramps right now we have Mig and Kurt. Mig is president of Full Bag Sports.
And they call him the Canadian Ninja. Did you know that?
I know once he hits that steep part there, he just accelerates. See if you can reel Kurt in.
Looks like he's giving it a try. Oh, and he's out of the course.
So if you come out of the course, we add a 1.5 second
Penalty?
penalty. It's hard to overcome, but if the guy in the next lane DQs, then we take the fastest time.
So you could still win even if
You
you
can
pull
still
out.
win. It's hard. It's a hard way to win, but
Yeah.
it can happen. So far we have moving on, Paul Price, Lou Statman, Seb Leger. Those are the leaders after the first round. So we're going to run you guys through again, see who moves on, see who gets to battle for the top 4 spots, see who gets to sit down. That will be decided in this run. So I need Paul Price on the red lane, Danilo on the white lane. Paul is up by 0.288 seconds. Pretty even reaction off the ramp.
Yeah,
See what happens coming down the hill.
They are head to head, that's for sure.
Looks like Paul Price might have crested
Yeah.
the knoll first.
Yeah.
Close race, but it looks like Paul Price with a 19.609 and a Danilo with a 20.238.
It's so interesting because you think from the beginning that you can tell how it's going to go, but it's never over until they cross the line and we count the cones.
Unofficially, it looks like Paul might be moving on, but I just need to get the cone counts. So on the ramp right now, we have Steve Penderson and Lou Statman. Lou is visiting us from Texas. Hey, Steve, while you're up there, tell me where you're from. I know you're from where? Minneapolis. Thanks for coming out and visiting. These guys are battling it out.
They're very close. Look at that. Oh, it's going to come down to the cones.
It could.
Ooh.
Some fast raw times on these two. 19.432 for Lou, 19.480 for Steve. Very, very close.
Lou actually did really well at the World Championships last month in Ottawa. He took the first place in the AM division in the hybrid, this event, at the World Championships, and he was #1 in the giant slalom.
Looks like Lou Statman is going to move on. He had a .929 advantage Nice job, Lou. On the ramp, we have Seb Leger and Lynn Kramer. Lynn has a little ground to make up here against Seb, but I tell you, she's really working the course right now.
Both really strong skaters.
I think Seb might have taken that round. We'll just have to make sure everything is okay with the cone judges. On the ramp, I need MIG and CMC. On the white lane, it's Kurt DiBartillo. Kurt kind of goes by the nickname CMC from his snowboarding days. Also a very good alpine snowboarder. MIG, founder of Full Bag Skateboards.
And head of the timing division.
All the racers should be, I want to hear a nice cheer for Mig for all the timing work that he's done. Thanks, Mig.
That fourth beep is random, and sometimes it's a while before it gets out there.
So this is Mig and Kurt heading down the hill. We also had a recent donation of a skateboard sling for longboards. A lady walking up and down the hill. If you see her, ask her about them. She donated one as a prize for our race today. Thank you very much.
And I think they have a booth down by the church as well.
Oh yeah, so check out her booth. She has a booth down by the church, so check it out. So raw looked like 19.964 for Kurt, 19.6 for Mig, but Kurt is moving on. So moving on in that group, we have Paul Price, Lou Statman, Seb Leger, Kurt DiBartillo.
So does that mean we need the Group A racers to the top
We
of the hill?
need the Group A racers that moved on up at the top of the hill. We're going to switch spreadsheets over, and we're going to get you guys going. We're going to run both A's and B's all the way down until we figure out who's 1, 2, 3, 4 in both groups. And then we'll be running the C group. My favorite group is the C group. That's the group I'll be running in.
That's my favorite group, too.
Yeah, she has 2 boys. Hopefully, I don't get beat too bad by them.
Yeah, and since your birthday, they don't even equal your age yet.
Yeah,
There is a website.
all these results will be posted on the main Slalom Skateboard website is slalomskateboarder.com. It's the ISSA website. So if you go to slalomskateboarder.com, there will be results and some write-up on this race on that site. So it looks like in the round of 4 for the A group, we have Joe McLaren, Martin Reeves, Adam Schwerpert, and George Pappas. So first up, we're going to have Joe McLaren versus Martin Reeves.
So how many miles do you have to travel to race against somebody that you skate with all the time?
How many miles do I have to go to find another slalom skateboarder?
No, how many miles did Joe McLaren and Martin Reeves come to skate with?
Oh yeah, these guys are
buddies that they
skate
skate all the
partners.
time. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, these are skate partners in Colorado. They come all the way here to battle it out in the round of 4. Both good all-around skaters. Martin Reeves skates some downhill as well as Joe McLaren. I've seen some nice pictures of Joe in the park. So.
And they both ride for Skate Kings.
And they both ride for Skate Kings. Think you're good to go? Think you're good to send these guys? All right, my timer says she's ready to go. So up on the ramp, number 1 qualifier, Joe McLaren. Martin Reeves battling his way, staying in it all the way. It looks like Martin Reeves blew out at the top of the course. I didn't see exactly what happened. He might have slid his back wheels a little bit. They were both pumping really hard. They know each other. They know how well each other skates. Martin knew he couldn't leave anything on the hill. I think he just took some chances and just kind of had a little slide at the top. So that time was at 18.044, one of the fastest times so far today. Nice job, Joe McLaren. On the ramps right now, Adam Schwippert and George Pappas.
Adam Schwippert in the white lane rides for Skate Kings. George Pappas in the red lane rides for Pavel out of Germany. Very close.
Some very fast times, 18.608 for Adam, 18.620 for George Pappas.
Be interesting to chat with Martin when he gets up the top of the hill and find out what happened with his run. Very experienced skater.
So these guys are getting shuttled up just to save us some time, save the racers' legs a little bit. Also, it's quite fun for the skaters.
To skitch. They call it skitching here?
Skitching, yes. Highly illegal in most states.
Also not a good idea in the parade to skitch on the back of the Shriners float either. We learned that a couple of years ago. They don't take kindly to it.
Yeah, the Shriners don't allow skitching.
So Martin, come and tell us what happened.
So in a second here, we're going to put Martin Reeves and Joe McLaren back on the ramp. Martin, gonna tell us a little bit what happened. Was it just a mental error, a little slide?
For Radical? Yeah. Martin, Joe, and Adam Schwippert also ride for Radical Trucks. They must be doing something right.
So Martin's down by 1.5 seconds because of the DQ, so as long as Joe can kind of stay in the course here, Joe will move on.
And it looks like he'll move on.
It looks like Joe will move on. So Martin comes back up. He'll still be racing for 3 and 4, but he's out of 1 and 2. So right up now we have Adam Schwippert and George Pappas hotly contested right now. Adam Schwippert's up by 0.12 seconds, a little over 1 cone penalty.
Just a tiny margin.
Lost and found. Somebody's flare guard. If you could just go outside. Camera flare guard.
It looks like we found a flare guard from a camera lens, a Nikon HB25. If somebody's dropped something, it's up here at the timer table. Thanks, Dave. You just keep finding things and bringing them up here to us.
So this is George Pappas versus Adam Schwippert. Adam rides Skate King Radical Trucks. George rides Pavel and GOG. Wow, close race, close race. Too close to call from here. Raw times, 18.547 for George Pappas. 18.39 for Adam. It's going to come down to cones, guys. 2 and 2, looks like it's going to be Adam Schwippert moving on by just a mere 0.157 seconds. So Adam Schwippert goes to the round of 1-2, as well as Joe McLaren. Martin Reeves and George Pappas will be racing for 3-4. I will need the B riders, the top 4 B riders to the top. Yeah, top 4 B riders to the top. If you moved on, we need you up here. I don't have it up on the screen, but I'm going to give you the top 4 in just a second.
You'll notice that all of our riders are wearing helmets today. You must be wearing a helmet to skateboard on this road today.
So Paul Price, Lou Stadman, Seb Leger, Kurt DiBartio. I think we'll get Paul on white, Lou on red, Seb on white, CMC on red.
Paul on red or white?
Paul will be on white. Paul is a tight cone specialist. When it gets tight at the bottom, watch him accelerate. See if he can hold off Lou Stadman.
Very close.
I think Lou beat him to the wire.
Yeah, Lou did beat him to the line.
Raw times, 19.361 for Paul. For Lou Stadman, 19.019. On the ramp, Seb Leger and Kurt.
Seb is from Montreal.
Very close off the ramp. These two
Very
guys
strong
are
racers.
going to push each other, I think. Boy, that was so close at the line. Raw times, Seb Leger takes it, 19.086 to Kurt's 19.114. One of the closer heats
Very
so
close.
far today. 0.02 seconds difference. It's going to come down to
Wow.
cones. Looks like Seb's going to come out ahead due to cones. Okay, so the next round, we have Paul Price, Lou Stadman up on the ramps right now. Lou is up by 0.142 seconds. Very, very close.
And there they go. Very close reaction times.
On Lou's bio sheet, he wrote one of his interests is building stuff. If you need stuff built, talk to Lou. Very, very close race. This is unbelievable. 19.714 for Lou, 19.710 for Paul.
So close.
0.004 second difference. Going to come down to cones on that one. Lou takes it by 0.038 seconds. Unbelievable. Seb and Kurt, they had very close raw times. Kurt struck a couple more cones than Seb. Seb is up by about 0.3 seconds. Seb is a full bag skateboard rider. Kurt is riding a paddle deck. Seb has a new pro model coming out in a couple weeks. Seb also loves to surf in his spare time. Looks like Seb is going to move on, so we'll have Seb and Lou in the big final for battling for 1 and 2. Paul Price and Kurt DiBartio will battle it out for 3rd in this B group finals. We're going to switch gears here, jump into the A group. The consolation round, these guys are racing for place 3, 4. This is one of the tougher places to be because if you don't win here, you're not on the podium. The guys that are racing for 1, 2 automatically are assured a podium spot. But these 3, 4 guys, it comes down to it. So George Pappas is in the red lane, Martin Reeves in the white. 2 Colorado guys. George beats Martin off the ramp by a little bit, but they're neck and neck here. George hits one coming over the crest of the hill. Looks
Very
like
close.
George might have been first to the line. He ran a 19.092. Martin Reeves ran a 19.175, very close. Martin Reeves, even though his raw time was slightly slower, comes out on top due to cone strikes. George had hit 2, Martin had hit 1. Joe McLaren up on white, Adam Schwippert up on red.
These guys live slightly farther apart.
Both these guys ride for Skate Kings and Radical Trucks. One of these guys will be number 1. Who will it be? Look pretty close here coming into the last sprint.
Oh,
Looks
very
like
close.
Joe McLaren looked like he out-accelerated Adam just in that
that's right, just
last
at the end.
25 cones. Raw time for Joe McLaren, 18.519, 19.020 for Adam Schwippert. Joe McLaren has a 0.501 second advantage. Martin Reeves has a 0.017 second advantage. So at the consolation round here, we have Martin Reeves and George Pappas. Martin Reeves is up by a very slim margin, 0.017 seconds. The last run came down to cone strikes. So just to make this clear for the spectators, these guys racing right now are our top racers of the day. These are the fastest guys. These guys have been skating for a long time, all have sponsored decks and trucks underneath them. They all can bring it. Martin Reeves, George Pappas up on the ramps right now. Martin Reeves is up by 0.017 seconds. This should be one close race here. Both these guys are going to bring it. The old guy's not going to let his student take him here if he can help it.
There we go.
This is for 3rd and 4th overall today, guys. Cheer 'em on, cheer 'em on. One for George. I think it is going to come down to cones. Raw times, Martin Reeves was at 18.55. George Pappas, 18.757. They trade cones 1 and 1. It looks like Martin Reeves is our 3rd place finisher for today. 3rd place overall, Martin Reeves takes George Pappas by 0.207 seconds.
And that will be a Skate Kings podium.
Nice racing. Up on the ramp now, we have Joe McLaren and Adam Schwippert. Joe McLaren is up by 0.501 seconds. Whoever comes out on top of this run is 1st place overall, top group. These are the fastest guys you're going to see all day right here. Cheer them on. Adam Schwippert has a little bit of time to make up here.
They are really cooking.
I don't think either of them's holding anything back here. Just looks like Joe McLaren just out-accelerates Adam in those last 25 cones. He just puts the pedal to the metal.
It's the experience these guys have, and you know, now they're bigger and they're stronger and they're heavier and they can just put it all out there.
So final, it looks like Joe McLaren is up. Joe McLaren wins by 1.427 seconds. Smoked that run. So we have overall finish in the A group. The fastest guys, Joe McLaren first place, Adam Schwippert second place, Martin Reeves third place. Looks like a USA sweep in the top three of the hybrid slalom.
A Skid King sweep too.
Two Colorado boys in the top three. We need all C group riders to the top. We're gonna run off the B groups. We only have a couple of quick runs on the B group. Then the C group will be running it out. So Paul Price and Kurt DiPartillo for third and fourth. They'll have 2 runs to battle it out. They'll run to each side of the course.
The battle of the snowboard coaches.
Looks like Kurt's out a little bit and coming over the crest of the hill, but Paul is battling back. Paul Price, 20.033, Kurt, 19.911. Very, very close. Gonna definitely come down to cones. Paul's gonna come out on top of that one due to cone count. So Paul will be up by 0.178 seconds for the second round. This is for places 1 and 2 of the B group. Lou Statman, Seb Leger. Texas versus Canada.
Canada's bigger than Texas.
They think they are. Seb asked if Texas is a country. I said they think they are. Oh, looks like Lou came out before the finish, so we call that a DQ.
That's
DQ
right.
on the white side. When that happens, and then they're in the first round, they get an automatic penalty of 1.5 seconds. It's very hard to overcome that. You have to almost get the other guy to DQ in the other lane.
Which is a challenge unto itself. Seen it happen though.
Seb had a very fast time, raw time of a 19.025 with 1 cone. So when these guys cycle back up, we'll have Paul Price and Kurt on the ramp. Paul is up by 0.178 seconds. These guys are battling out for places 3 and 4 in the B group. Paul is up by 0.178 seconds. They ran very close raw times. I think Kurt had 2 cones or 3 cones, and that made the difference. C racers should be up here ready for their practice runs. So with that, I am going to turn the microphone over.
And I'm going to turn my microphone over too.
So we're going to see if we can recruit a couple of new announcers for the C group.
Yeah, I think we need Fat Boy and Sassy up here.
Lynn's a volunteer and she's looking for company.
Oh, I see. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, I think she's gone to get Richie Carrasco. I see him walking up the hill. And that was Kurt DiBartolo, raw time of 19.366 seconds, and Paul Price, raw time of 19.449 seconds. Paul Price, third place.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's the afternoon of the morning.
It's still morning
In
San
California.
Diego.
In San Diego, yeah.
where I'm from.
And that's where you're from San Diego.
Here we are at the second run of the final round. Seb Leger is up by 1.5 seconds.
You lose water. If you'll notice, Lou has a bottle of water in his pocket. Very dangerous maneuver, but makes him very fast, as you can see right there.
Looks like Lou has a much better jump on Seb than he did last run.
Oh, the extra weight of the water got him over there.
Unfortunately, Seb went into that run with a 1.5 second lead. Welcome to Antrim. We have Seb Leger, number 1B racer. Congratulations, Seb, from Montreal, Canada. Lou Statman from Houston, Texas, second place. Paul Price from sort of a gypsy, London, England, by way of Japan, by way of Utah, by way of Huntington Beach.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, our B podium. Up now we've got C division practice. All these C racers, they're ranked 17th through 24th. This will be our final heat of the day. And they're gonna get ready to take a practice run. My name is Lynn Kramer. I ride for Skate Kings. Next to me is my manager, Richie Carrasco, Brown Bomber.
Thank you, Antrim, for letting us come here and race on your streets. Thank you. Let's have a big hand for all these great racers out here, giving it all they got. Woo!
I want to thank Glenn Chapman for doing such a great job announcing. Glenn had to go race in this division.
He's always got a smile on his face, so we call him Grin. He's known to live on lobster rolls. What's that? Oh. If anybody hasn't used their lunch ticket, get down there. She's still got some food. Let's go get it.
On course now is Chris Pappas. He's from Boulder, Colorado. Rides for Venom and Boulder Orthopedics.
Brother of George Pappas.
He's a coach at Woodward Copper Mountain Snowboard Camp. And he was the first ever snowboard instructor at Jackson Hole.
And a self-proclaimed Greek god.
On the orange course now is Danimal, Dan Duquette. He's only 14 years old. He's from Ottawa, Canada.
Here comes Glenn Chapman running down the line.
Everybody yell happy birthday to Glenn as he skates by you. Yesterday was his 51st birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
And
Happy birthday,
more.
Glenn. Thank you. Setting the courses out here. Working hard for all the racers. All right, everybody get fired up for some more racing from the C division. Here we go.
These C racers, even though they're not the top 16, are all very good racers. These are the newer racers that are coming up in the ranks that next year could be a threat.
And they're off. And they're coming around down the corner. Here comes Chris Pappas on the inside. Patrick Lehman.
Oliver pulls out. Chris Pappas still needs to complete the course and get a good time. He'll enjoy a 1.5 second advantage.
Good job, Chris, pulling off that sketchy finish.
Gabe Duquette is up on the white lane. Emily Gascon, you'll be in the red lane. Following Gabe and Emily will be Glenn Chapman in the white lane, Julie Boulanger in the red lane, and then Ryan Riddell in the white lane, and Danny Duquette in the red lane.
Here we go. This is the battle for Canada right here. These guys have been fighting over it for a long time. There's a lot of anger here. I'm only kidding. They love each other. Here we go.
Emily's gonna give Gabe a run for his money. She got second place in the GS women's division at the Canada World Championships 3 weeks ago.
And the races are off. Gabe's using his technique right there. Ooh,
Very close race. 21.54 seconds for Gabe Duquette. 22.082 seconds for Emily Gascon, but we have to count the cones, and that could give us a different result.
Very close race.
Each cone that the rider hits adds 0.1 seconds to their time. That could make or break a race. 5 cones for Gabe, 4 cones for Emily, and Gabe is up by 0.442.
And the racers are off.
Good start by both racers. Julie is in perfect form. Glenn is just using his racing experience. Looks like clean. Oh, Glenn just gave up a cone. We'll see if that was detrimental to his crossing the line first. Glenn Chapman with a time of 21.219. Julie Boulanger with a time of 22.345 before cones.
Let's give a hand for all the women out here busting out. We need to get some more women out here. Got Lynn Kramer, Julie Boulanger.
Glenn Chapman is ahead by 0.826 seconds. Next in the gate in the red lane, we have Danny Danimal Duquette. In the white lane, we have Ryan Riddell. Danny has been a kids division world, US and Canadian champion since 2008. He's riding for Skate Kings.
Oh, this is a tough one. Look at this. Oh, the big guy really motored down there. There's also a lumberjack on the side.
Ryan Riddell crosses with a time of 21.921. Danny Duquette crosses with a time of 22.7. And Riddell hit 1 cone to Danny's 3. So next round, Danny's gonna have to pick up 1.012 seconds.
But Dan is a former champ. He knows what he's got to do. So this is going to be a big battle in the next race.
We're back at the top of the order. We've got Chris Pappas in the red lane and Oliver Lemon in the white lane. The second round of 8 will be Gabe Duquette in the red lane, Emily Gascon in the white lane, Glenn Chapman in the red lane, Julie Boulanger in the white lane. Ryan Radell in the red lane, and Danny Duquette in the white lane. In this first round of Chris versus Oliver, Chris is ahead by 1.5 seconds. Oliver pulled out in the last run. When a rider DQs, the other rider gets a 1.5 second lead. But if the other rider DQs, not to jinx Chris or anything, it'll come down to who had the fastest good time.
I don't want to mess him up. I'm going to say it was down there.
Do it, Chris.
And the races are off.
Chris is a snowboard coach. He was coach of the year at Woodward Copper Mountain. He trains year-round racing smart. And it looks like it paid off with a clean run.
Chris has been doing a good job getting Joe and Martin out there and his brother George out there riding. He likes to coach everybody out there, so it's great to see him out here tearing it up.
Chris Pappas had a time of 22.4 seconds clean against Oliver's 22.2 seconds, but 5 cones will hurt. And Chris Pappas comes up ahead. He's in the round of 4. With Emily Gascon in the white lane and Gabe Duquette in the red lane.
Here we go again, the Battle of Canada.
Gabe's a little bit ahead of Emily, and he started out with a little bit of a time preferential, but he needs to clean his run in order to not get penalized. It looks like Emily's hit a couple of cones as well. Gabe crosses with 21.6, Emily with 22.497, and I don't think that Gabe hit enough cones for Emily to advance.
Good job, big guy.
Emily is one of the 4 women competing in this race this weekend from Canada. She rides with her boyfriend and coach, Seb Leger, who just won the B class. And Gabe Duquette advances.
And the racers are off.
Glenn Chapman's got a great jump on Julie. He's already ahead by 0.82 seconds, and Julie's just got to work as hard as she can to catch up with him. It looks like she's pulled out of the course.
Yeah, sometimes them cones get out there and you got to make a decision if you're going to blast it and just keep going through there, but it's got to be a split second. If you hesitate, you DQ sometimes like that, so.
Glenn Chapman will be advancing to the round of 4. In the gate, Danimal Duquette in the white, Ryan Radell in the red.
I was going to do it this summer, but I didn't.
Battle of the Teenagers.
Teenage championship going down right here.
Ryan's a local boy from Places, P-Town, New Hampshire.
Check out that style on Daniel. Nobody bends their legs more than that. This guy's something else.
Did that look like Ryan pulled out? And he was up by 1.012 seconds. And since he pulled out, Danny just won that round by 1.5 seconds. Means Danny Duquette will be in the round of 4.
Look at that guy, he's honest. Give a hand for Ryan out there. And Danimal charging.
So our round of 4 is going to be Chris Pappas, Gabe Duquette, Glenn Chapman, and Danny Duquette.
Where's all the sponsors?
We've got Chris Pappas in the white lane, Gabe Duquette in the red lane, Glenn Chapman in the white lane, and Danny Duquette in the red lane.
Don't bend down so much.
That's a great start by both racers. Gabe Duquette is a little bit ahead of Chris, but they are so close, anything can happen. Gabe's already given up 1 cone. Even though these are C racers, they're so closely packed together. We're just going to see some great racing for the rest of the afternoon.
That was impressive. Look at that kid go. Gabe Duquette just coming off a win in the World Championship out there in Ottawa, showing some of that form that got him the trophy.
And we've got Gabe with a time of 21.114.
Wow, stepping it up.
Chris Pappas with a time of 21.529. Chris Pappas hit 2 cones against Gabe's 3, and Gabe will enjoy a .315 advantage. We have Glenn Chapman now in the white lane, Danny Duquette in the red lane. Both these riders are riding Skate Kings boards. Glenn's from Beverly, Massachusetts. His 2 kids also skate and snowboard competitively.
Did you see that? Dan came off a big 4-wheel drift, pulled it off, slammed it right back in with the experience from riding.
I think Glenn's weight alone, Danny's so little, has a hard time keeping up. Great race by both riders. Glenn Chapman crosses with a time of 20.8 of 0.1 seconds, one of the faster times.
Woo!
Against
Turning
Danny
it up.
Duquette's 22.296.
That's what you usually see out here in the racing, is the times get faster and faster as these racers start matching up with faster and faster racers and learning the courses, and sometimes you got to make adjustments on your gear and you're able to just really turn it up.
We've got the motorcycle pulling the riders back up the hill for the second round in the round of 4. We have Gabe Duquette sitting .315 seconds ahead of Chris Pappas. And we have Glenn Chapman sitting 1.595 seconds ahead of Danny Duquette. Chris, we'll have you in the white lane when you're in the red lane when you're ready, and Gabe will be in the white lane.
Over there.
This round of 4 is when the athleticism really comes out. These riders have to take run after run after run after run.
Pappas is up right now. Okay, Chris is up here signing autographs, and okay, he's ready to go now. He's fine-tuning his equipment right here, making an adjustment. Gabe's fired up. He's ready to go.
Chris Pappas is up here getting instruction from Martin Reeves, who just placed 3rd in the A division. Martin had to beat Chris's brother down the hill.
And the racers are off. Chris is trying to make it up on him.
Both racers have hit 1 cone so far. It's a very close race.
Gabe Duquette, wow.
Gabe Duquette, 21.084.
Looks like here's another young kid we're going to be have to watching out for. Coming up the ranks.
Beats Chris Pappas across the line by 0.3 seconds. And now we have to count the cones. Gabe Duquette hits 1 cone against Chris's 4 cones. That's going to hurt Chris. And Gabe Duquette advances to the final round. We have Glenn Chapman in the red lane. Danny Duquette in the white lane.
And the racers are off. And it's Glenn Chapman on the inside. He's driving it with some big offsets. Style Master Dan trying to get him. Wow, Glenn, very efficient down there, finishing off that run.
Glenn's running smoking times for this division, a 20.583 and only 2 cones. It beats Danny Duquette's 22.3. Danny's carrying all of 70 pounds down the hill trying to keep up. Give him a couple more years.
Yeah, this kid grew about like 6 inches last year, so they got this Canadian stretch table at home, and he says it doesn't hurt too much, but it's paying off. He should be dunking pretty soon.
We're going to go into the consolation round. Chris Pappas will get to race Danny Duquette. Chris Pappas weighing in about 90 pounds. Maybe Danny has a chance against him. Our final round will be Gabe Duquette, 17 years old. It's going to be his last year as junior against Glenn Chapman. His kids are both older than Gabe. Hi, Emily. Emily Gascon's up here. Emily got 2nd place in the GS Women's at the Worlds. Up here eating healthy. The racers just wanted to take a little breather up here. Chris and Danny are getting ready to get in the gate. I want to thank all the sponsors who put this race on. Pepsi, Full Bag Skates, Skate Kings, Cairo Skateboard Products, Original Skateboards, Orangutan, Razor X, Longboards by Fat Boy, Radical Trucks, and Crotched Mountain. Rick and Diane's Pizza, Battaglia Foundation, and the Antrim Police.
Lake Sunapee Bank. And the Consi round is on.
Oh,
hey,
no.
was that a cone out? That
Cone is out. Danny Duquette, being the experienced racer that he is, noticed that there was a cone off in his lane and did the right thing by jumping off his board right then and there and pointing it out to the race officials. That'll give them both a rerun.
Sorry about that, Chris.
So we're going to give Chris a little bit of a rest, and we're going to go into the first round of the final heat. This will be Gabe Duquette in the white lane and Glenn Chapman in the red lane. Hey, let's give a hand for our timers. They've been out here for 2 days already. Miguel Marcos of Full Bag Skates.
Miguel Marco. And Julie.
Local Antrim.
Thank you so much. Let's give a hand for Evil Knievel towing these guys up here. He will race any of you after this is over and outjump you.
Oh, and Glenn with an amazing jump out of the gate.
Ooh, Gabe's right with him, though. Look at that.
Yeah, Gabe pumped those first couple of cones like a champ. He's moving quicker. You can see the effectiveness of his arm swing.
Wow. Oh.
Glenn is just using smoothness and weight.
Oh, great race.
Glenn crosses the line first. Great race.
Wow, that was a few lead changes in that run. That was awesome.
Looks like each rider only hit one cone. Glenn Chapman crosses with a time of 20.155 against Gabe's 20.616. And Glenn hit 2 cones, but it will not be enough. Glenn is ahead by 0.361 seconds. Coming back to the Conti round now, we've got the courses all set up and right, hopefully. Danimal might be enjoying the fact that Chris is a little bit more tired after taking that extra run. When your opponent pulls out, you don't always know.
And the races are off. First run in the Consi round. This is for 3rd and 4th. Oh, look at that layback.
Oh.
And he pulls it off. Dogtown style. That was like a layback.
That was a great save by Danny. Unfortunately, he won't get to finish his run.
That's the only kid I've ever seen. Oh, we have a discretion call we got to check. But Dan, again, he is so athletic, was able to whip that board around and pull it off instead of crashing. Dan's the only kid that I got to tell him to stand up a little more. That guy is so Gumby, flexible.
So in that run, there was a cone out on the white course, which was Chris's lane. And Chris did the opposite of what Danny did last run. Chris decided to ignore the cone out, complete his run, and take his time, which is smart in this case because Danny DQ'd. And he doesn't want to take any more runs than he needs to. He wants to save his energy for the second run. So we're coming down to the second round of the consolation round. Chris Pappas should be up by 1.5 seconds. Chris Pappas is in the red lane. Danny is in the white lane.
And the racers are off. And it's Chris Pappas on the red lane coming down. Cutting
Almost
his way.
in sync.
Oh, this is a good one.
Chris is slightly ahead. Danny hit a white cone. Chris crosses with a time of 21.295 seconds versus Danny's 21.566. It looks like Danny hit 4 cones. To
But
Chris's
it was a
1.
battle all the way.
And that will give Chris Pappas the 3rd place podium in the C division.
Yay! Let's have a hand for Chris Pappas. Woodward Coach of the Year.
This is the final race of the day. Glenn Chapman and Gabe Duquette. The margin is 0.361 seconds in favor of Glenn.
That's about 3 cones. Here they go.
Good start by both racers. Gabe is just a little bit ahead. If Gabe can keep, oh, Gabe needs to hit less cones.
But he's got a lead right now.
He does
Here's
have
where
a
Glenn
lead, a
turns it
big
on.
lead. Not sure if Glenn
Whoa.
is getting tired.
Whoa.
And Gabe smokes him to the line with a time of 20.05.
This might be an upset because Glenn was looking so strong on that finish on the last runs. Let's see what happens here.
20.05, that was like the fastest time in this division all day. Gabe is just on. Glenn Chapman crossed with a 20.421. And we're waiting for the cone count. Three red.
We're going over the cones. Checking it twice.
Two white, three red. Gabe Duquette wins that round by 0.271 seconds, but it's not enough. Glenn Chapman is our C Division champion.
Let's have a hand for Glenn Chapman. Birthday boy. Happy birthday to you. Yay, Glenn.
Gabe had a smoking time of 20.0.
What kind of boards are you riding?
Tomorrow morning, the GS starts at 10 a.m. Practice starts at 9. All racers should be here at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're all going to head out to Tenny Farms tonight for the barbecue and fireworks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, today's results in the C Division, we had Glenn Chapman, Gabe Duquette, and Chris Pappas. In the B Division, we had Seb Leger in first, Lou Statman in second,
I need to see the sheet for these. Yeah, I need to see it.
Paul Price got third in the Bs. There he is.
All the way from London.
Paul Price podiums in the B Division.
Oh, it looks like we're going to have a locals only grudge match here.
We have a locals grudge match here. We've got Josh in the white lane, Ryan in the red lane.
The Battle of Antrim is on.
These are Antrim's best. Oh, and Josh pulls out on his carpet board with dingle balls on it. And our winners of today, Joe McLaren of Longmont, California, Colorado. I always think Joe's from California. Second place, Adam Schwippert from Burlington, Vermont. And third place, Martin Reeves of Boulder, Colorado. The course is now closed. Thanks for a great day of racing. Thanks to all the coneheads for coming out. If all the racers and officials could help us clean the street up, we can get it open to traffic as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, City of Antrim, for having us. Thank you.
Thanks to the City of Antrim. Thanks to Cheshire TV Channel 8 Full bag skates.
Thanks to the town of Antrim as well. They help us out with a lot of logistics and even some cash to put this race on. A lot of people behind the scenes, Rick Davis at Rick and Diane's and Brian Beal and Harry do things that you won't even see. You know, they're out there late at night filling sand buckets and moving stuff around, and Harry usually takes the day off and pays his guy to come and help us out on this race course. His guy couldn't make it this year.
And
But,
don't forget Dave Kirkpatrick.
Oh.
Put the whole thing together.
That guy, he flies by the seat of his pants. He just shows up and talks and comes in last. We are probably going to allow the GS to be set this afternoon. So let's not open the roads just yet. And I'd like to get did we do a wrap up on the A, B, and C's? It would be nice to get all the different divisions again if we know who won.
In the A group, we had Joe McLaren in first place, Adam Schwippert in second place, Martin Reeves in third place. In the B division, we had Seb Leger in first place, Lou Statman in second place, and Paul Price in third place. And in the C division, we had Glenn Chapman in first place, Gabe Duquette in second place, and Chris Pappas in third place. And in the D division, Terry Whalen won the D division. Dave Kirkpatrick, second place in the D division. And Dan Parrish rounds out that podium.
I finally beat Dan. That's kind of scary. We've been duking it out for a few milliseconds for a long time, and I put my big boy wheels on this time, and maybe that's the difference. And bearings that don't make noise when you roll them. Hey, thanks very much for all of you guys. And our sponsors again, we had Full Bag Skates pulling the heavy load today with the timing table. Skate Kings always give us great stuff, and they give us a lot of good advice and bring their best skaters with them. Cairo Skateboard Products, original skateboards, sent us a fabulous box. We've got some great prizes to give out on Sunday. Orangutan Wheels, Razor X, Longboards by Fat Boy, again, great stuff from these guys, and Radical Trucks. Keith Helene brings us one of those fancy precision trucks, and you should check them out. If you have a chance, grab one of these skaters and say, hey, can I look at your gear? It's pretty cool stuff. Thanks again, Crotched Mountain, Lake Sunapee Bank, Rick and Diane's, Battaglia Foundations. And this wraps up the Antrim Can-Am Slalom Championships #6, 2011.